I don't know if this is, yeah, apparently it is. I had an issue.
Oh, with the music?
Oh, no, it was with the going live thingy. We're
It says
live,
says live.
but this is not working. Okay. Vibes got nice and we gather round. Tonight the old town now a playground. We raving up to the soca sound. We raving. Jump up with the morning sun. We raving, say the sound. We raving. Jump up with the morning sun. We raving, we saving. Every beat till the night done come. Flags in the air, hands up high. Sweat dripping as we touch the sky. The music hits, you can't deny. Tonight we live, tomorrow we shine. Yeah, they still on the best of times. Carnival queen, she a dance all night. Echo, echo, echo. We are here today with another installment of BK Crypto Echo. I am Kimberly, otherwise known as Black Crypto Chick, and this is my lovely host, Miss Rashona B, RB Rising One. You know where to find her, and I on Instagram and on X and on, oh, I said Instagram. Oh, yeah, and on X. Yeah, I guess I have that right. I find it difficult to remember X because I keep wanting to say Twitter. Anyway, we are here to bring you a little bit of crypto news from the week. This has been an interesting week in crypto news because the Bitcoin conference was going on, right? Down in,
Yep.
did you get a chance
Tennessee.
to 2 years ago? Yeah, it was Tennessee. Tennessee.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't go either. Yeah. Thank you.
I did. I did
Yeah.
spiritually. I traveled.
Just seriously, you know what? I was there too. Exactly. I love that. Yeah, because we are always there in spirit where people are rallying support behind the digital currency narrative. So we are definitely there in spirit as always. And I think what was one of the big takeaways from that this week. Uh, there was a lot of talk about the different speeches by politicians which took
Oh, yep.
place.
Yep. Policyholders. Yep.
I know that
Who's going to
Trump,
be for Bitcoin?
right,
Who's going to be for the
right, right,
narrative
right.
of the expansion? Right.
Right.
Yep. So it's.
RFK,
I mean,
Jr. spoke first, right? As far
definitely.
as the, yeah,
Yes,
right, he
and
spoke
you know
first,
that.
right?
Yeah.
hmm
He has a lot to say
hmm
because he's coming in uniquely different. He's not a Democrat.
Right.
He's not a Republican. He's really
hmm
coming in the
Right
collective of
now.
what he feels the changing of the world requires, right? And you always need someone who's going to
hmm
stir up the
hmm
pot. He's that person, right? There's no
hmm
favorites but
hmm
understanding what the message is, right? Overall, and
Right.
that message
hmm
is a global transformation that's happening around the world. I know many of us who
Right.
did get into crypto in 2008 is now seeing it transform into real time and saying, okay, what is this new narrative? Because it's not going away, obviously, right? And so
hmm
now that we're in
hmm
this election time and we're dealing with the politics, what is some of the top news that was coming out? Because, like you said, there's a lot happening. Some of the top news stories that came in, I think, July 20th to 28th was the Bitcoin conference, right? Thousands camped
hmm
out for hours to see crypto's self-declared candidate at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, Tennessee. We have Bitcoin liquidation, those who are holding crypto and Bitcoin. I know
That's
you're
true.
like, what's happening? Because again, you have newbies in the market and they've gotten in
hmm
and they're like, wait, my
hmm
investment's going down. But we're going to that too. It's
hmm
nothing it's nothing to fret. It's about more educating yourself on markets and
hmm
even life. If life is about fluctuation, right, ups and downs, then that's just how the market actually really works, right? So it can really
hmm
get to the central
hmm
point of where we're going to liquidate on a high. Then you have what pro
hmm
crypto policies. We'll get into that.
hmm
Extremely
hmm
important. Democratic members of Congress wrote a letter to Democratic National Committee asking for it to embrace pro crypto policies. Woo woo!
Yep.
Yes.
hmm
And again,
Mm-hmm.
legislative changes, crypto advocates in the US, houses want the party to adopt towards a forward-looking approach to digital assets,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's really what
right?
we all want, because the reality is that from 2023 to 2024, the numbers went up like by 10%. 10% more people holding in the United
Mm,
States are holding Bitcoin, or shall I say cryptocurrencies in general. So now the numbers are 40% of American adults own cryptocurrency, and
mm.
and that makes it about 93 million people. Imagine that. So are you part of that 93 million people? I'm talking to you out there in the universe. Are you part of that
100%.
93 million people who are forward thinking and have chosen to own some crypto? And the crypto ownership in the United States has risen. Again, that's actually not 10%, it's by 13%. By 13% in the past year. And then with that, what are people holding? So 76% of them hold Bitcoin. Ethereum is at 54%. Dogecoin, go figure, is at 26%. But the meme
Wait,
coins, Doge, Bitcoin,
listen. Let's talk
yes,
about
yes, yes.
those meme
And then
coins.
hello. Hold on, wait. And then Cardano is pulling up the rear in fourth position at 12% of them, 12% own that. So,
I know you're a
and
big holder.
I
You're a
own
big
all of them.
holder of
Exactly.
Cardano. And
I'm a holder of all
congratulations to
these.
your patience.
I know, right? Patience like a I know, Brooks.
Yes.
You're always like, oh, you still holding that Cardano? I was like, I am. I think some good things are going to come. Any
Yeah.
event. So you were going to say, because I cut you off. I
No,
apologize.
no,
Go
it's
ahead.
good. I love it because I feel like even through our friendship and building, you have always been a visionary and a forward thinker. And I think that's a lot of that plays a part of where you are now in your expansion, seeing things. I think a lot of people, when they get in the market, they move with fear and they don't see the long
Mm-hmm.
game. And so we're here to tell you globally, the world, when you really truly believe in something, it has to be something that's going to allow you to hold that space and think about the long game.
That's true. It's interesting because I know you know this story, but back in it was September or I'm trying to think, where was I at that time? I think it was right before I went out of the country. So I did, it was September that I actually stumbled upon, just me rummaging around YouTube doing research, and I stumbled upon Peak, Crest, I guess technically. But I
Yes.
read, right, and I read that it was going to be like the potential to get the airdrop for Peak. And I read about it and some of the companies that were involved in that project. And I said, this sounds interesting. And granted, I did not say it to anybody in my little community. Well, you know what it is? I didn't hear our community. I didn't say it because it's something very, very new. No one was talking about it at all. I read, I thought it looked interesting, and I jumped into it. And that's what we're talking about, people. So we like to empower people with the ability to do that, right? So anyway,
Yes.
so then
Yes.
as the months rolled on and people started talking about this, I was like, oh, remember I actually got into that back when, and I kind of felt a little bad that I didn't mention it earlier. But again, it could have gone to zero. I mean, and actually the project hasn't come out yet, but there's a lot of hype behind it at this point. So for me, I think it was a good investment. You
I,
know, anyway,
listen,
but you never know. But this is
you.
what you talk about. You talk about following your inner spirit, whatever
I was
guides
gonna get.
you,
Yep.
get your-
Yep.
get
Yep.
and that's it. You got to do your own firsthand research. And
hundred
then
percent.
if you decide to go into something, because that's a early, that's a coin that I got into early before it even launched. But
Definitely.
these are the things that we try to, empower people to do. So anyway, keep talking about the news, babe. Sorry.
No, no, it's the news. I wouldn't tap into something you said because it circles around on information that I got. So as everyone knows, I'm a financial soul healer. I'm a spiritual being. I'm a
Mhm.
crypto spiritualist in the BK crypto family. Kimberly is definitely known as a
Yep.
fundamentalist, deeply rooted in her research. But at the same time, too, Kimberly, you're very spiritual, right? And you listen
Mhm.
to your
Mhm.
intuition. And I'm saying
Mhm.
this to the community and to the world. You're going to see news. You're going to do research. You're going to see the hype. But I tell you, what kept us going is really tapping back
Mhm.
in because a lot of things, maybe spirit might tell you, hey, invest in Shiba Uno. And I'm going to get into that. And you might be thinking,
Mhm.
well, based on the experts, they're saying that, hey, this meme coin is dead. It doesn't have any utility. Don't follow it. But if you truly understand the truth and the power of your spirit guides, and it's a message that keeps popping up, I swear to you, listen. There's many times through my meditation, I've gotten invest in Casper, right? Right, 100%. Another spiritual teacher of mine, she had the same tap in and told her to invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum years ahead. So I had a sister who reached out to me that I met in my SAU spiritual community, and she said, Spirit told me to invest in Shibu Inu. Okay,
Shiba Inu.
Inu
Funny.
recently, and it's in your
I didn't
article.
listen to that voice, but I
Listen,
went back
and she
in
sent it to
December
me.
of that year, and I didn't do it, and I was going to, but I just like, oh, okay, I'll do it later. Oh, okay,
Shout
I'll do it later.
out to Melissa, and she sent me an article because she's always watching my Instagram, and that she knows that we're part of cryptocurrency. And she goes, sis, I want you to understand the breakdowns, the article about Shiba Inus. So Shiba Inus, they're dogs, right? And they're spiritual dogs that in the Japanese culture, they actually groom them. And here's the exciting part. They're actually spiritual dogs that help to guide you on the physical realm and also connected to nature. So in the article, it breaks it all down of why they are persistent on this elevation spiritual Shiba Inu dog. So she says Spirit told her to invest in Shiba Inu. She's not even in crypto. She's new to it. She ended up getting, I said, well, did you purchase it? She said, yes. She ended up getting a Coinbase account and purchased it. But she tapped into me, was like, I'm gonna need your help. Spirit told me for you to help me to guide me through the rest of the part because I don't know anything about this. Girl,
She just happened to hear about that, and then something told her to contact you because she knew that you were in this space.
yes, but her spirit guides told her to
That's
invest in Shiba Inu, and
yeah,
the
I
article
know
popped up
first.
about the spiritual activation of the Shiba Inu dog and Doge. I said,
So
if we
yeah,
don't start looking higher and then what we're receiving
listen.
in the news, we'll miss out
Mhm.
on what spirit is telling us because we are naturally abundant. And this
That's
is a
it.
time to build your wealth. So let's get back into the news. That was spiritual news from crypto spiritualists, and let's tap back in. So on the next side, right? Um,
Yeah.
Regulatory frameworks, the 2024 election in the US, Asia, Europe, Africa are posed to influence the global regulatory framework for Bitcoin and crypto. Woo, woo, woo. Decentralized energy. Now we're talking about
Decentralized.
energy,
Yeah.
decentralized.
Yeah.
Crypto-powered demand response programs can save customers billions as the U.S. electricity grid struggles with wide-scale outages. Come
It
on now.
is. It is. Yeah, exactly. We've been saying that for years that I mean because something's got to give, and there are cryptocurrencies that are debt. See, that's the thing for those people who don't know about cryptocurrencies. Everything is not actually a currency. Some projects are dedicated to real estate transactions. Some projects are dedicated to um, uh, uh, what is it? Environmental issues. Some are dedicated to what God, what is it? I'm trying to think of this daggone climate down
Um,
climate the credits,
yep,
the
I know what you're talking
credits.
about. Can't. I know what you're talking about. We'll
Yeah, yeah,
follow up with that.
exactly.
100%.
I can't think, but I know it's
Yeah.
climate down is one of them. So yeah,
Yep.
so it's like so there are
Oh my
all sorts
God,
of
I know what you're talking about.
cryptocurrencies.
Oh, we were
Yeah, I
invested in
know.
that like 4 years ago. Oh my God.
Exactly, exactly.
It deals with
I
the
can't.
energy
It's energy
collection.
credits.
Yes.
It's energy credits.
Credits.
That
Yeah.
is what it is because companies they take these credits to offset the energy that they use in the world. So it's like you gotta if you're doing a little bad, you do some good, and it helps to balance out your overall or the corporation's overall usage of energy. So
Energy.
they,
Yep.
it's called
Powerful.
energy credits. So, like I said, there are cryptocurrencies for many different things, not just currencies in the broader
Yep.
spectrum.
Yep.
But yeah, so for those who are interested in going down that rabbit hole, like do some research and figure out if anything resonates with you and whatever business you
Yes.
may have, because
Yes.
there might be a currency for that, right? Yeah.
100%. Again, like in
Mhm.
investing, go with
Mhm.
what resonates with your heart, with your
Yeah.
soul,
Mhm.
which what you believe in. And I
Mhm.
swear to you, that actually leads you in the right direction and choosing the right projects. Because I
Mhm.
know you hear, like you said, a lot of buzz of the Ethereum network, which is, pretty much, it's a ledger,
Mhm.
um, but it, and my brain is farting right now.
I
Ethereum
know.
is a
Layer one. Layer one.
layer one,
Yeah.
100%.
Blockchain layer
But
one blockchain.
also a smart contract, right? So it has a
Right.
purpose.
That was the first smart
Yep,
contract
first,
blockchain.
yep. And so there's many others like the Solana right now as
Mm-hmm.
well. But when you start realizing that the pump is not just about the currency and there's other layers to this, you'll
Mm-hmm.
start really digging deep into how do I now utilize this to help the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
here for, right? To
Mm-hmm.
expand
Mm-hmm.
that knowledge and that wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Again, the SEC lawsuits. We know that these are things in the 3D. I say, well, it has to happen to create change. You have to be
Right.
part of it. It's not to live in
Mm-hmm.
fear, it's to understand what is happening in its present time to be a part of
Mm-hmm.
that change. Because if we don't
Mm-hmm.
start reflecting and understanding the time that we're in, the
Mm-hmm.
radical levels of it, then we're going to miss out on the greatness
Mm-hmm.
that's happening, that's forging ahead in the next couple of years, right? When we talk about
Mm-hmm.
AI, we talk about the
Yeah.
blockchain, we're talking about education and how we make those changes. This is happening now. We can do this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we need
Mm-hmm.
lawsuits. Shout out to Reggie Middleton because again, he's a brother that is a visionary that saw early on the power of decentralization. We call him a
Mm-hmm.
DeFi
Mm-hmm.
father. There's
Mm-hmm.
things that are happening behind the scenes that you're going to have to tap into so
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
not in a FOMO place, fear of missing out, but truly understand the narrative,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Speaking of Reggie Middleton, for those who aren't familiar, he acquired the patent for um, uh,
DeFi.
oh, it is the whole basically the decentralized finance, yeah,
Mhm.
DeFi, and the powers that be have been consistently trying to um, mm, uh, basically knock him out of the party, basically.
Right.
And fortunately, courts have ruled in his favor, but he has another lawsuit. He's facing another lawsuit, and he's raising money to counter that. I don't recall the. Do you recall the? Is it a GoFundMe or something like that? Do you recall
I
that?
don't recall, and I know we'll tap in and we'll share
I
that on
recall.
YouTube. So definitely share and love this channel.
Yeah,
Be
share,
crypto.
share it in
Dot com.
the audience.
Yeah, because the more we spread real
Yeah.
news,
Mm-hmm.
not entertainment, the more we can really make changes. Those who are
Mm-hmm.
position to help
Mm-hmm.
out, and Rick Middleton is that person. We followed him for years, and so to see
Yeah.
us now as connected in this space, we want to help those who are helping others,
Mm-hmm.
right? To change lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Mm-hmm.
definitely something to tap
Exactly.
into.
Mm-hmm. Especially,
Important.
yeah, especially in very right, right, right. And there
Can
are
you?
very few people of color in the space as it is. So, yeah.
And
What are
because
you gonna say?
the power of decentralization versus centralization, for those who are
Mm-hmm.
listening, can you just break down why we're so adamant and excited about decentralization of finance?
Okay. Well, decentralized finance will allow you to basically do a lot of the same types of transactions and wealth building transactions that banks do. They're it's aspiring to really remove the middlemen from that scenario. So, we encourage you to do a bit of research and see how you can participate. And we'll just put that there because there's a lot of information online. I mean, you can go to BK Crypto Coach as well, our website, and see. what information is there, but there's a lot of information online. So we encourage you to just go and do research. It doesn't have to be with us. We're just saying go do
Yep.
research about decentralized finance because it's meant for everybody. That's the whole idea. It's not handled by just one entity. And you guys realize that, over the past, I'd say 10 years, much of our information has been um, revealed. Much of our personal information has been revealed because we give information to XYZ organization and then they get hacked. And then our information is all out on the dark web. I so if and when decentralized finance becomes more widely utilized, um, it would be more difficult for hackers and ill doers to go and hack those decentralized channels because it's the same thing like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has never been hacked per se. It's
Yep.
because there are so many different nodes all over the world running the Bitcoin blockchain basically. So it's like if you have so many different people, because back in the day, even people like you and I could be running nodes, and so you can run nodes, but we could be mining for Bitcoin, so to speak. So if everybody is doing a little something, there's no way for bad doers to hack that blockchain. That's really the thing. So many blockchains start out being centralized and then they move towards being decentralized. Bitcoin started out being decentralized from the beginning. You know, that's
Yep.
really why Bitcoin is, besides
Right.
being the first one, that's really why it's been the big winner because you could never attach a person's name or an entity to Bitcoin. It was always just out in the universe for everybody to partake in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. And so
Mm,
tapping into the
yeah.
next that came up is the SEC lawsuit. The Ethereum co-founder discusses why his firm decided to sue the SEC on stage of consensus in 2024. That's huge. Um, Galaxy Digital
Mhm.
CEO, Galaxy Digital CEO was asked about a plethora of regulatory and legislative issues affecting crypto in an interview at Consensus as well. Consensus tap in, huge informational platform. And if you was at our last session,
Mhm.
podcast, we had a young lady who actually worked with Consensus. So there's a lot of information there. Um,
Mhm.
Bitcoin 2024, after years
Mhm.
of consequential silence on digital assets, the top Republican on the Senate Banking Committee stormed stormed the Bitcoin 2024 stage as a booster and crypto adoption. Attendees are casually optimistic and apparent regulatory and legislative changes, though not everyone is convinced. So I don't want to get into politics, but I want to tell you how serious this is. And now, when you start really understanding the space that we're in, Trump literally had a dinner and invited all the attendees, and the price for that was $84 million for a seat at the table.
No, 800 and something million, right? It was 800 and something
It
million,
wasn't
right?
84 million. It was
No,
in
no,
the
no.
millions.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Each ticket was 800 and something thousand. And so the overall raise was like 84 million, right? Isn't
Okay,
that what it was?
listen, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
confirm that,
Mm-hmm.
but just listen to the numbers.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The astronomical, right?
It's astronomical to be at that conference for him raising money in crypto. And if you know Trump,
Yeah.
not go into who
What?
he is, I want to go into the spiritual aspect because we get so emotional, right? Trump is a
Mm-hmm.
businessman. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
bring about business and how to continually to make money. He claims he's
Mm-hmm.
not going to increase
Mm-hmm.
taxes, right? Because as a person representing his energy, he's about business. He's the same person
Mm-hmm.
that is like, I'm not paying taxes. And I want you to not get emotional about this. I want you to understand why he's not paying taxes. Because when you understand the system that you're living in,
Mm-hmm.
he's just utilizing the system. And the Constitution, it states
Mm-hmm.
that we should pay taxes. I'm just saying, do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
There's levels to
Mm-hmm.
this. There's many realms to which we are living. But the truth is the truth. Understand what
Mm-hmm.
people are representing on the stage before you get emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You may not like it,
There's
but I
no
love
reason
it.
to get emotional. No reason to get emotional. They, there's no reason to get emotional. So when you go to the barbecue, your next barbecue this summer, and someone starts talking about finances, I granted
Uh-huh.
there is a saying that you don't talk about finances, religion, and something else. But when they get into talking about finance, oh, how's that crypto doing? Just disengage and say, you know what? I'm choosing to do my thing. You choose to do your thing. We
There
can
we
meet in the
go.
middle. It's all, and
Exactly.
we'll just see who who does better in the long run. I think there's space for multi currencies, multiple currencies. There
Yes.
may be space for a few stocks in the future, but one thing is certain that much of the stock market is going to become digital assets in the very near future. That's that's something that it was called what real world assets.
Asset.
Okay,
Yep.
and but those real world assets will be digital.
Real
Okay,
estate,
so
gold.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's going to be it's going to be one in a digital capacity. So you've probably heard of central bank digital currencies. I believe that Trump said that he's not going to allow a digital currency, a CBDC on his watch. We'll see
Yep.
how that goes. We'll see
So
how that goes.
CBC is a
Mm-hmm.
centralized banking digital currency. And
Mm-hmm.
so,
Central bank currency.
yep. And
Yeah.
why that's
Mm-hmm.
important, because again, it's about sovereignty. When you listen to Trump, and you guys can have your opinion, I'm just talking
Mm-hmm.
about from what I receive.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
about sovereignty. And you have to understand what
Mm-hmm.
sovereignty means to you while you're living here in the world, period, and what country you're residing in their laws. And is it benefiting
Mm-hmm.
you, or do you have to now decide, how do I make it better for myself? Is it you finding
Mm-hmm.
reparations? I remember Aquarius Maximus, she was speaking to Black Magic 363, and she said something that was powerful. She said, I'm doing my work. I go to legislations, I go to these events, and I basically tell them what I require, the bills that are being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm doing my work.
Mm. She
She's
spoke in
like, are
Congress last year or
you
something
work?
like that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Guapon. But I said it because a lot of times we tend to go in the energy of victim. And what she was sharing that I gathered out of the conversation was, take your power. Whatever you require, create it. What
Mm-hmm.
do you need as a sovereign person? What do you need as a Black and brown person in this space? What changes are we collectively going to make
Mm-hmm.
together when we see things are changing that's not in our
Mm-hmm.
favor? Are you going to the Capitol and say, I need to speak
Mm-hmm.
to the ambassador or so and so who's representing what you might require? That's what she's stating.
Yeah.
How do we form an
Mm-hmm.
allegiance, right? Shout out to Earn Your Leisure, InvestVest. I want to shout out to also Nike Keys, because these are people that I'm naming, do your research, that are as a collective are making
Mm-hmm.
moves
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
moving and changing the narrative. It's a choice.
And inspiring others to move the needle, to don't just stand for the status quo of
A
what,
hundred percent.
our parents said, So it's just like we have to get up and be involved in the destiny of the future of finance as we know it. So you need to get out there. I know there are a number of people who are talking about, oh, I'm not voting in this election. I think that it's important that you do vote for whoever moves your heart, but do get out there and vote, because every vote is always important, and more so than the presidential election, the local elections are far more important, if anything, because that's really where the major laws are set. So we encourage you, even if you have animosity towards any of the the presidential candidates, please be sure to vote in your local elections. But and that is all the time, not just every 4 years. Keep going, please.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Want to. So what else do we want to? So we did lawsuit cover, beautiful, 100%. Crypto adopt. So since we're here to help and empower the people, and then research, let's talk about this crypto adoption. It's happening. It's happening. Whether we talk about, you know, how to save, the depletion of food system, the world is changing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What narrative sold? But at the end of the day, only thing is change. So what is it that you are looking to within the life, the legacy
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
built, not on its own. So there's an adoption. What are you adopting that's going to change your life in your future? Right? So we're talking about financial literacy, we're talking about finance. There's an adoption. Are you a part of the
Mm-hmm.
or are you in a place where you're afraid of the change because maybe they
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
lose,
That's a lot.
right? That you're afraid. When we really love, what gives me balance is that I know that life is about evolution. I know that the same story repeats itself, but it does in a sense. So when we understand that to what was happening decades ago and to where we are now, centuries ago, we'll understand the time and space that we are in. The choices that we need to make it better for ourselves. Not scarcity. Oh, the shortage of water, the shortage of food. The basics that control us. You know, the world is ending. Well, when you think about the Mayan calendar and 2012 of the ending, it was really because it was like, what's the next chapter? It's the lenses. It's like, what are you receiving? Because your eyes are the windows to the world. So, what information are you receiving
Mm-hmm.
that your subconscious in a low vibrational
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
there's no good and bad how I see it, but what's making you be so in a space of negativity, anxiety, depression, scarcity, lack. What is happening? What are you tuning in every day that's feeding that? You have to change that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
gotta change that world.
Yep. Yep.
Who
Yeah.
are you
You
surrounded
really
by?
have
Who
to
is
change
your community? Who's your
to
community?
consider.
Who's feeding
Mm-hmm.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And who are you learning from? The idea is that the
Yes.
people around you should be pushing you forward, challenging you to do better, and adding some sort of value into your life. It shouldn't be a situation where people are just taking from you. So if people are not adding value into your life, you should look towards, aligning yourself with more individuals who can add value in your life. So. Um, we are going to wrap it up, I
We're
think.
gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
Before
yeah,
we
I
wrap
think
it
we'll
up,
wrap it up
some
because there's. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
no, go ahead.
I can't
Sorry.
hear you.
No,
No,
something.
I couldn't hear you. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I said yes. Kim mentioned we're gonna wrap it up. And like you said, quick snippets of something that's going to elevate your life. Crypto adoption, digital asset adoption. What are the current trends and indicators of crypto adoption? Like anything else that's adopting that you know it's not going anywhere. Here's how you know that things are adopting. Trends include increased in institutional investments, growing mainstream recognition, and improving infrastructure. Two,
Mm-hmm. That's what's
how
been going on. Mm-hmm.
legislative changes impact adoption rates, supportive regulations could boost adoption, while restrictive regulations might hinder growth. And three, what are the potential
Mm-hmm.
barriers and drivers of mainstream crypto adoption? Barriers include regulatory uncertainty, while drivers include improving infrastructure and growing recognition. I want to say, in 2000, the same thing occurred when it came to the internet adoption. And where are we now? They can't control the internet.
Mm-hmm.
We went from Web 1,
Mm-hmm.
Web
Mm-hmm.
2 to Web 3. If you can just embrace that information I just stated to you, hopefully it will help you in this ascension. It's not to, what I want to say, conspiracy, because we're past the conspiracy theories. But if you can reflect on the adoption that happened many times as you are living in this life, you'll realize we're in a new space of adoption. Are you going to be part of that adoption?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna adapt yourself out?
Yeah, here, but really, really quickly, as you're mentioning that, I'm reminded that um, the Bitcoin ETF approved, the Ethereum ETF approved, and that actually launched on last week. I don't think we mentioned that on the 23rd. And there, I believe that there was a paperwork put in for a Solana ETF. I think there might have been something
Yes,
put in for XRP ETF. So it's like, granted, those are not there yet, but imagine, would all these things be coming about if something wasn't brewing underneath?
right.
They're not telling you, as the average American, to go jump in on that because they're still getting themselves in order. They're still positioning themselves. So, you know,
Correct.
do some research, because I couldn't believe how many people didn't know that these other ETFs, Bitcoin and Ethereum, had already been approved. I couldn't believe when I was talking to some people in France. I'm in France right now, and I was talking to people, and they were just like, "What? Huh? What?" I was just like,
Mm, mm, yeah,
and all these similar legislation and policies are being put in place around the world. It's not just the United States. It's not just El Salvador. It's not just China. It's
yeah.
all around the world. So we just encourage people to pay attention to what's going on. Don't be left behind. Yeah.
Just
Mm-mm-mm. So,
stay connected.
yeah,
bkcryptocoach.com. We're here for
yeah,
you.
exactly. Exactly, because we are here to educate you as best as we can, just to let as many people, especially women, you know,
That's
women
right.
around the world, to know
Yeah,
that exactly this is what's going on, and we want our women to be at the forefront, because women are really good with money, generally speaking. Okay, so we
you
look
know,
forward to
that's
seeing you next
the right
time on BK Crypto Echo. I
echo.
am Black Crypto Chick. This is my lovely host, Miss RB Rising. You can catch us on YouTube around 12 noonish Eastern Standard Time each Sunday. Also, be sure to like this channel. Be sure to follow us, like this video, and see you next week.
Yes.